Welcome to the Curious Cauldron YouTube channel. Maria and I are so excited to come to you on this platform and share with you what we've been brewing here at the Curious Cauldron. So, I'd like to start by introducing myself. My name is Jeannie, and I manage the Curious Cauldron. And here we have the founder of the Curious Cauldron, Maria. We refer to ourselves as the head witch and the resident genie. So, what we would like to talk about today is most of you who have come into our retail space, or those of you who haven't, we'd love you come visit. We have a retail space and we sell a lot of wonderful, beautiful spiritual tools, and have recently opened the Empowerment Center, where we're filming from today. And that's what we're going to be discussing. The Empowerment Center, what's it all about, and how it can help you on your journey. So, Maria, how about we discuss what is the Empowerment Center Academy all about?
As you were talking, so much more information has come through the channels. It is all about you. It is all about the client. It is all about the customer. It is about you. It is about me. It's about all of us individually, not collectively. So I know that sounds a little confusing because, like, aren't we, all together in this? No, we're not. That's not the way it is. It's all about doing the things that you need to do, putting in the work, the time, the commitment, even being uncomfortable to change where you are today. If you're not happy with where you are today, to be happy where you are tomorrow.
So, honoring and acknowledging our uniqueness.
Absolutely. We are all different, but the same.
Yes, we are. So, how did you come up with the concept of the Empowerment Center Academy?
Again, I think I am the vehicle. I don't think I am the one. I'm the one in the driver's seat, but I'm listening to GPS.
Interesting.
Okay? So I plug in and GPS says, okay, this is what we're doing. Now, that doesn't mean I follow blindly. I don't do anything blindly. You can tell me whatever it is you want to tell me. I'm going to question you 110% all the time. Actually, let me retract that. I don't believe in 110%. I believe in 100%. 110% is a thing that everybody says, but there's no such thing. You're either 100% or you're not. There's no more, there's always less, but there's no more than 100%. So I don't follow blindly. I question everything and I check in with myself to see if that resonates with something that I desire to do too. Because if I'm going to be miserable and I'm not going to like it, then why would I do it? Because that's not empowering. That's giving away my power to something or something else to control me. And that's not what it's about. And that's how it all became. It was a window into what is actually happening in this world of spirituality. So this is unlike any other place you've ever been, because it just is.
It's true. So what type of workshops and events do you plan or have planned in this sacred space? And that's what we'll call it, because it's exactly what this is.
Oh, it's like a little cocoon you never want to leave. I know I never want to leave, and you know that,
Yeah,
because, at the end of the day, you're all like, hello, and I'm like, wow, it's time to go. I don't want to go.
Extract her.
We're going to have plenty of classes. We've talked about, maybe like 5 definite, and then ones that we're just throwing around, we're going to have our Empowering Crystal series. It's not just one class and you're done. It's not an hour. It's a ongoing class. It's going to last a month. That's one of the babies. Okay. And the name might change. Remember, we were like, we've already changed it. I don't know how many times with
true.
just in the past 2 days, because the name has to fit the child. And this is a creation that came about, and you know, with intuition and guidance and everything else, everything falls into place. It just takes time. So the name might change again, but it's an amazing class, series, workshop. Call it what you want. We'll call it a workshop series or a series workshop. And it's going to be amazing. Sorry.
No, what I thought was fun when we were thinking about names, Maria said, well, when you're naming a class and something so sacred, it's like naming a child, because it is unique and sacred, just like a child. So I thought that was a fun way of saying it. So we have this empowerment class. We're noodling still with the title of it, which we'll have to put down in paper pretty soon. And what we've decided to have as a subtitle, which I think was really great, was how we're going to be having it help us achieve the journey of self-discovery. So however we put that through, so it will be working with crystals. So the class, you gave us a little description of it. So who would be this, who's this class for?
This class could be for everyone. Okay? Like we
Could
discussed,
be.
it could be for everyone, but it's not for everyone. It could be, but it's not. It's for those who are sick and tired of being sick and tired of where they are and want to make a change in their life. Just like, you know, diets and this, that, and that thing. We're tired of not fitting into the jeans, so we go on a diet. But in order for the diet to work, yeah, I gotta put in the time. All things considered, you know, if it's not working for you today, what is it that you can change to make it work for you tomorrow? Empowerment. What can you do to change it? So the class is for those who are serious about doing the work. I guarantee you do the work, you will see a change. You don't do the work, I guarantee you won't see anything. You won't see, nothing will change. It will remain the same. Sometimes it might even get worse, because now you're spiraling out of control, going, this isn't working, nothing is working, blah, 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 blah. And you blame exterior factors for the interior breakdown.
So it's for someone who's willing to do the work. So
Not willing, determined.
determined.
Because we're all willing to do something, even if it's just to sign up for the class. But if you're not willing and determined to make that change above all else, then it's not going to work. It just isn't going to work.
So that's who the class isn't for.
The class is not for those who are weak or faint at heart.
Yes.
Unfortunately, it is not for the weak at heart.
So these classes, we've decided to make them once a week, and it's going to be, each class will be 3 hours, with a short break in between. They will be starting on Thursday, June the 30th, and they will run consecutively on Thursdays through which the last day would be July the 21st. It will be Thursdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. And we'll give you more of the information about the dates to sign up and so on. So, Maria, what is this class size like?
The class size I want to keep intimate. So it will be maximum 8. We would like to see 6, but we can stretch it depending on demand to 8. But my sweet spot would be 6, because that would give us one-on-one intimate contact information. It's not going to get, you're not going to get lost in the class. Everybody will have the one-on-one option in that class because it's not going to be huge. It's going to be tailored for you as we go.
So everyone will have a feeling of having a very personal experience then with
Absolutely.
it being a small class.
Right. You're not going to get lost.
So we have a class once a week. Will there be any homework involved?
Yes, there will be homework involved.
So what's that
And,
going to be like?
well, it's not going to be easy, and you will have to do the homework. You have to do it. If you don't do the homework, you will not get anything. You will get a little bit, because let's face it, everything we do helps a little bit, but you will not get the maximum oomph and empowerment that you want if you don't commit to it.
So you're only get out of it
What you put into it. Absolutely. I can guarantee you put it in the work, you do the things. You might not see the instant changes, but everybody around you will see it. It's like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we can't see that we've lost weight or we've gained weight,
That's right.
but the world is really easy to go, hey, did you put on a couple of pounds? Right? Isn't that the way it works? Oh, you know, you're looking a little tired. You might not see it, but somebody else will.
Mm-hmm.
They will see the change in you, in your energy, in your vibration, in your light. And that is your confirmation that the work you're putting in,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not going to be all easy. It's not going to be, you know, I just made it sound like it's going to be, oh, rainbows and unicorns. That's not what it is. Okay? It's hard work. You're going to cry. You're going to scream. You're going to get that ugly cry. You're going to do all kinds of things that you're wondering why this is happening, but it's called transformation for a reason. You're changing your vibration for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you know when you're cleaning out your house, everything looks like a crazy mess. And then once it's all done, it's just beautiful. And it's exactly, everything is exactly in the place where you wanted it. And that's the same thing that happens with you.
Yeah, sometimes you have to. It's like what Einstein once said, that you can't, I'm going to just paraphrase, you can't come up with a solution within the same environment that the problem was created.
Absolutely.
So you're creating a new environment for people to live in.
It's called knocking everything down and starting fresh. You can't keep the old ways and think things are going to be different, because they're not.
Definitely not.
Sooner or later it'll seep in there and poison everything around you again.
So we're going to be dealing with working with crystals, and if people have been collecting crystals for a year or a decade, can they bring those crystals with them to the class?
No. we do not want you to bring any of the crystals you have, because we will be supplying you with the materials that you're going to be using in that class, because we want everybody on the same page. Everybody is going to be covering the same material. There's no confusion. This is why it's intimate, it's one-on-one, it's 3 hours, because we want to have everybody across the board getting the same information, so that nobody feels, well, if I had that, or if I did that, or I don't have. No, we're all on the same board. What you do after, which is why you have this relationship, because we're going to cover, what did we say, 15 crystals?
Mm-hmm. Approximately 5 per class, I
Right.
think, how we broke
So
it
it's
down.
about 15 crystals, and we have about 20 something crystals that we have already made a list for.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the good part. So we have the first class. Those 5 crystals are already set in stone. That's what we're going to work with.
No pun intended.
No
or
pun intended. And then the next class and the following class, all other classes, the stones will be picked intuitively with you in mind. The client, the customer, this is about you. It's not about me, it's about you. I'm going to do the homework too, because it's the only way that we're all going to be on the same page. And if I can do the homework, There's no excuse.
So what is someone expected to say bring to the class then?
We talked about notebooks, journals, your shadow books, whatever you want, you could bring book-wise, your notebook, okay? And it's not to share with everybody else, and it's not to, say, well, I do this in my spare time. This is not about sharing, other than when the time for the class is to share. And then the only thing we are going to share is results, work, and homework. That's it. And experiences within that class. We're not sharing 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last week, yesterday, just what the topic is. So a notebook. I'm even thinking of maybe supplying a notebook, a crystal journal, just
Nice.
from the Curious Cauldron, and a pen, because you need to be able to write your notes, because you're going to take notes. You will be supplied with a lot of items and things, a lot of knowledge, a lot of advice, a lot of intuition. You're going to get a lot of that, because we will be connecting. All of us will be connecting energetically. I will always ask for permission, but that is why this is sacred space, so that things flow freely and uninterrupted. So the notebook, the pen, open mind, determination, and commitment. Those are the 4, if you include the pen, it's 5. Those are the 5 things that you need to walk in here with.
So
It's gonna be exciting. I feel the energy as we're talking. I can. It's gonna be amazing.
it is. So how do you sign up for the class?
You can call the shop to reserve your seat, because like I said, sweet spot 6, max 8. So you could call the shop. We will provide the phone number. You can come into the shop again and register for the class. Just remember, and I am not going to make any, and we've had this conversation whether we should or we shouldn't, we should. I'm not going to make any excuses for if you reserve your spot by the 24th, I think we said, of June.
Yes.
That's the last day.
Mm-hmm.
If you reserve your spot, there is no refund for that spot. So I want a commitment from everyone who signs up. I'm making the commitment to be here and give of myself, therefore I expect the same thing in return. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, it is what it is. This is not your typical class. You've never seen
No.
anything like this. So that's what this is going to be. And that is, you're signing up for an experience in changing your life.
It's a unique journey.
Absolutely.
So you can visit our website, thecuriouscauldron.com. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. Look at The Curious Cauldron. And our phone number is 239-931-6458. And we'll be putting this information in the link below. And be sure to like and subscribe to us here on YouTube. And also like and follow us on Facebook and Instagram, because we plan to be giving you our schedule and our events that we'll be having, which we're really going to start to ramp up in July. We have the calendar pretty well populated. We have some other things coming up, actually.
You actually have some very interesting meditations coming up, which I can't wait for.
So each month we do a full moon and a new moon meditation, and during the full moon, we bring to the light of the full moon all the obstacles and blocks that we feel are preventing us from finding what we want or achieving our goals. And during the new moon is a good time for new beginnings, to perhaps set our goals or reset our goals. So we have a lot of people coming to the full moon, the new moon, the full moon. So I've been working through them as a cycle, and they're playing off each other, which you can join at any time. But they are very relaxing as well
Oh, yeah.
as very allows you to go deep. And I do a guided journey with you because to just sit sometimes in silence, we're making lists in our head.
Very, very important.
They are. I'm making a
It's
list of
very,
what I need to
very,
get at the
very
grocery
hard.
store, what I'm doing on my day off, and chores, and that's not what meditation's
No,
about.
and I love the fact that when I've never been able to meditate until and I've told you this, I've
You
been
have,
I've been
yes.
doing this for a long time, and meditation, if you're sitting there and you're not listening to a guide, and the beauty of it is that I listen to your voice, okay? And I know I have a million, and we all do, have a million and one chores and things that we wanna, that thoughts, and everybody's like, oh, put them in a little trunk, and then you'll come back and get them. Who wants to come back and get them? I don't wanna come back and get them.
Mm-mm.
But you listening to your voice, it is not, and I want everybody who's out there, who's listening, to not be afraid of, oh my God, I'm gonna have to listen to her drone, and I can't do that, and what it is, and this is an enlightening and empowering experience that happened to me the very first time, because I was afraid, okay, either one, that I would fall asleep and start snoring, or number two, that the voice and everything would just like grate me. But her voice, I start off listening to her voice, and as we're going on and on, it just melts away, and it's just the vibration that I'm listening to, no longer the words.
Mhm.
So if you're afraid that whatever she is saying will get stuck in your brain, that doesn't happen. It's not a subliminal thing.
No.
You're not downloading anything. You're not making them think about anything. It's that voice that just takes you to a place where, believe it or not, your vibrational being separates from your physical being, and you're allowed to leave, and you're taken care of, and you're guided back. You don't get lost.
Yeah, we're kind of
It's a cocoon. It's the empowerment center, and your
It
voice
is.
just takes you to that.
It
level.
takes us off the hamster wheel of our mind, or the monkey mind, as we like to say.
Yes, I love it.
Another class that we're going to be doing is a mala meditation class. And if any of you have ever worked with a mala, which is 108 beads, we're going to be doing some chanting. And basically chanting is just an affirmation. We'll do some in Sanskrit, and some in regular English, and some we'll do silently, and some we'll do, and there's reasonings. There's actually a science and technology behind it, which I learned because I'm a Kundalini yoga teacher. And we learned a lot of that. And some of the other classes we have are a series. It's going to be a divination series. And Maria is going to teach you about divination. What is divination? Tarot cards, oracle cards, runes, pendulum, what they are, why we use them, and how we use them. So there's that, and then I left the best for last. We, of course, have to come up with a certain title for it, but it's basically the goddess within. And I'm going to let you go with that one for a bit.
The goddess within. That is my brainchild. Would I call it a brainchild?
A love child almost.
A lot, yeah. That's the perfect thing, because it is a love child. Because it came about when I went home. You'll know what that means when you're in the class, when you're in the series, the workshop. You're gonna know what that means about going home. When they say you cannot go home, you cannot go back home, that's all a lie. There's one home that you could always go back to. And that's how it started. That's what, I've always struggled to try to find what it is, what my journey is, why I was put here, why is this happening to me, why, all these whys, and it all came together. And it's about you, yourself, and your empowerment, and your power, and the uncomfortableness. And people talk about shadow work, and they talk about, oh, well, you know, it's dark and this, that, and the next thing. It's not necessarily, at least in my experience, it's not necessarily that it's dark and it's scary. The darkness and the scariness is, ha, get this. You have to take responsibility for everything you have done in your entire life. That's the dark and scary. It is not evil, it is not negative, it is taking responsibility. And the journey is a beautiful journey. It is scary, the unknown, but the only way to grow and the only way to empower yourself is to take your responsibility seriously.
Like
you have to be
else.
uncomfortable. If you're comfortable, you are not growing. If you're comfortable, you are done. You are done moving forward. So if I just say, okay, so I have the Curious Cauldron and I have the Empowerment Center, I've achieved what I've wanted, we're done.
No growth ever occurs in your comfort zone.
No, you have to step outside of the comfort zone.
Exactly.
You have to make changes. And it is, I don't want to give everything away, but it's going to be, what, 6 months? I think we calculated it will be
Yes.
6 months, a 6-month commitment.
So they'll meet, we haven't noodled out the details, but we'll meet a couple times a month. We're gonna have a group on, probably a private Facebook group so
Absolutely.
that we can keep in touch, private journaling, and it's just, there's a lot of fun and surprises, and it's very exciting. And actually, it is an adventure.
It is.
An
It's-
adventure
it's
of
an-
self.
It's an adventure of self. It's a journey of self. It's a journey to the center of your empowerment.
Yes. And
Okay? It's not easy. It's not going to be easy. Again, just like the crystal class, it's not going to be easy. So, if you are not ready, I would tell you don't even attempt it, because it's not going to be what everybody thinks spirituality is.
true.
Okay? Because it's not.
So we have a lot of series courses coming up. We just mentioned a couple, but we have some non-series, which means we'll have a class, and we're going to have, they're going to be not classes, we're calling them workshops, because they're going to be hands-on and experiential, because that's when you really learn. You can watch videos, you can read books, but there's nothing like interaction and doing the work yourself and experiential. We're going to have,
Well, that's why the crystal course is going to be so amazing, because at the end of 3 weeks,
Mhm.
we forgot to mention this, at the
Oh,
end
yes.
of the 3 weeks of work, your blood, sweat, and tears, okay, to the work, which is not going to be that bad, okay? The goddess class, yes. That class, no. I'm just making jokes, because we can laugh.
and we
You
should
can have fun and still be serious. At the end, the 4th week, when we get together, that is going to be where everything comes together for you in a way where you can exchange what worked, what didn't work, and what
Mhm.
didn't work for you or didn't work for me might be an idea that somebody else never thought of.
Mhm.
So we're going to be teaching each other. There's no such thing as I'm an expert. You're not an expert. You're only an expert in yourself. I'm not an expert. There are 445 or 4,500. There are so many crystals in the world, and there's more being found all the time.
That's right.
And people changing the names. So there's no such thing as an expert. There's only an expert in your life, in your goals, in what you do. With that being said, we will also intuitively, if the class didn't work for you, the workshop didn't work for you, if your homework didn't work for you, then the only thing left is, what's the only thing left? Why wouldn't something work if you followed it to a T?
Mhm.
Why wouldn't it work? Because there is something blocking you, and that's the beauty of the 4th class.
Mhm.
Because intuition, connection, and spirit and source will be here to help you unblock those things so that you can get
Mhm.
everything you wanted out of that class.
Sounds like a lot of fun work.
It is. It's exciting. It's like a new journey. It's like getting on a ship, and you know where you're going, but the journey there, you don't know what's in the water, what's on the sides of you. You know, it's
And some of the
exciting.
non-series classes that we plan to offer are going to help us with any of these series classes, or just things that you want to do in your own spiritual practice, such as candle magic. That's going to be a
Good one.
fun class. We were working on that yesterday. How about for you kitchen witches out there, the real meaning of your kitchen as a sacred space, and the herbs you use and why we use them. A Reiki 1 class. Maria, why don't you tell us a little bit more about Reiki? A lot of people have heard about it, but what would you like them to know about it, the real story?
And I've heard some doozies. Reiki, everyone in the world can do Reiki.
Mhm.
You don't have to be a guru, you don't have to have a certificate, you don't have to any of that. Now, the difference between certificate and not certificate, and using it at home with your plants, with your animals, with your family members, the difference in that certificate is, if I was going to do Reiki on you, I need a certificate because of reality, not spiritually. Reality is, if I do something to you and my energy is not correct and your energy is not correct, and we don't follow the ritual and the outline of what has to be done, okay, and what we need to find out about each other, then I can actually harm you. Or I cannot harm you, but you're the type of person that's going to turn around and say, well, I didn't feel anything. If anything else, I feel worse. That's your fault. How am I going to protect myself and my business if I don't have these things in place? So,
Reality is, we live in a litigious society, and we can still do our spiritual work and help ourselves and others, but we also need to be aware.
and that's where the exchange comes in.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, and I, whatever works for you. A lot of people say, well, I don't charge for this, and I don't charge for that, and I don't charge for this. Well, that's great if you don't have rent, if you're home and you're just doing it at home, you do have a mortgage, and if you're just doing it on your family members, of course not. The exchange is the love you give to each other. 100% I agree with, okay? If you're doing it as a business, you do need to exchange something, whether it be monetary, whether it be barter, the barter system. Well, I'll do this for you if you do this for me. That's an exchange. Whatever works for you is what works. But back to the Reiki is energy. We all are made of energy, okay? And what you're doing is you're coming from a pure place. And you'll learn all about it, and why, and the hows, and the this, and the that, and how to get attuned, because you need to be attuned in order to do it to other people for certain things. We all can do it. We all can do it, and you don't need a Reiki class, and you don't need anything else to do it. I want to make that clear. I am not here saying, well, you need this class in order to perform Reiki. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, if you want to take it into a business thing, where this is what you do for business and this is how you do your income by helping others, they need to help you to prosper so that you could continue to help others. That's what I'm saying about that. But you do need to know how much energy, what not to do, if they're feeling this, you need to know these things. And that's the crux of that.
So that leads us into, we're going to be also having some healing circles, and we're going to talk about vibrational healing through colors, through, say, meditation, through food, and things like that. So,
and why? And why do you need, we're going to cover why do you need to do that, because it's like an onion. We use that all the time. It's the layers.
Yes, it's the layers. So one thing that's really interesting and a little intriguing for some people is, at the retail space here at the Edison Mall where we're located, people will come in and ask for a reading by Maria. And I want Maria to talk about readings and why we don't particularly care to call them readings, why we feel a more appropriate term is necessary. So would you like to talk to that point?
Yeah, they'll talk about naming a child. Again, I don't know how else to say it so that everybody understands that what you're getting here at the Curious Cauldron and in the Empowerment Center Academy is not what you will get anywhere else. Okay? I do not believe in the term readings. I don't agree with it. It's a connection that two people have, and we're having energy exchange, and we're tapping into higher energy, higher vibrations to move forward. Okay? Readings, and this is I'm not making this up, and I'm not, I'm not pulling it out of where. Everybody wants to know. They're like, oh, well, I don't know about my past. I don't want to know about my past. I know about my past. Okay, so you know about your past, but you want to know about, because that's part of the reading, is your past. So that gets brought up. And then the present, what's going on right now, what's happening in your life right now. And then your future. Nobody, and I will say this until the cows come home, and I know I'm going to get 1,000,001 comments about this one thing I'm going to say. Nobody can tell you your future. There, I said it. No one can tell you your future. I can tell you your future, Jeannie. We're going to finish this. We're going to go to work, and we're going to continue to go, because that's life. And that's, if you're sitting in front of me and you want a reading, you know why you're sitting there. You know what you're struggling with and why you want someone else's opinion. Because that's all it is.
Exactly right.
Ladies and gentlemen, a reading is taking everything that we energetically feel, okay, and then, I hate to say it, but if you sit, I would like someone to sit, anybody, test me on it. Go to a psychic fair and just sit and listen. Don't get a reading. You don't even have to get a reading. Just sit and listen to everything that is going on around you. Shut out all the unnecessary noise and then just listen to most of the readers. I'm not saying whether they're right or wrong. They're giving you what you're asking for. So they're not wrong.
But
okay?
It's not empowering you.
But it is not empowering you. It is not helping you. You already know what happened in your past. You already know what's going on right now. And you want a better future. And you think that they're going to give you the okay to do what it is that you want to do for your future, so that if it doesn't work out, you could turn around and have someone to blame.
Oh, it's not my fault. I don't want it to be my fault.
But I knew there was going to be an accident because a reader told me. Or I knew this was going to happen because the reader told me. Or I knew that wasn't the right person. Or I knew I was going to meet the right person because the reader told me in 6 months I would meet the right person.
So do you think maybe it can change someone's trajectories, their path, based on what someone told them and what they're expecting, based on rather than what they're truly wanting, and doing it and being empowered? Because the only place you can be empowered is in the present time.
That's it.
So you're still living each day into tomorrow.
You're worried about tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes.
Right.
Tomorrow never comes because tomorrow is your today.
So what would you rather call it instead of a reading? You will still meet with people, won't you?
Oh, absolutely. I will meet with people who actually are on that vibration, because I'm not going to hurt anybody, and I'm not going to do a fake reading, and I am not going to just wing it, and I refuse to be that person. I am not allowed, put it this way, you know this because you've seen it firsthand. I am physically not allowed to do that. physically. My spiritual connection will not allow it.
I think you would become ill in some way or another.
I did.
if you
I
were-
usually do. And then it just takes me, months to
Yeah.
get over it, because I was not true to my calling. And my calling is all about empowerment. It is not to tell you when you're going to get married. You decide when you're going to get married. Oh, but I don't have a person. Well, are you ready for a person? It all comes down to you. So I would like right now to put this out there. I will help you as a life coach, a spiritual life coach, a spiritual empowerment life coach, whatever you want to call it, but that's what it is. I will coach you to become empowered in your own life, but it's not going to be easy. I didn't get these wrinkles and look like this because it was a walk in the park.
So when people come and ask for readings, well, there's been a little hiatus because we've been working on some other things too. But we will continue with the consultations, but we make it clear up front. We don't call them readings because no one can predict the future. And that's what I tell people, and we give them a little taste of what Maria just explained right here. So we still use the tarots and things as divination tools and, little guides, and if you have a little question and things like that. But
For clarification,
yes,
insight,
right. Definitely insight. So what we also do is we have the beautiful retail space. If you haven't, please come visit us at the Edison Mall. We're in Entrance B right across from Books A Million. And we have probably everything you could possibly want for your spiritual journey. But the tools we have over there, the reason why we open the Empowerment Center is so that you can effectively use your tools. I am so drawn to incense and crystals and these figurines and candles, but I don't know how to use them, and maybe they're not working for me. Well, maybe you're not really knowing how to clearly use it as a tool. It's like a hammer. If I don't know how to use a hammer, how am I going to be able to build something? Or a paintbrush? How am I going to be able to accomplish something? But if I learn how to use it, I'm empowering myself and enriching my life. And that is
and
what
now
this
you
is
have
all
people
about.
out there going, what do you mean you don't know how to use incense? You light the tip and let it go. But that's not what we're talking about.
Exactly.
We're talking about why it is that you are drawn to that particular scent. We're working with vibration, and we have to learn to do things intentionally, not by default.
That's right. And we need to live our lives
Intentionally.
with purpose, and rather than things happen, let's make them happen. And that's what the Empowerment Center is all about. We basically just touch the tip of the iceberg with everything that we have and the ideas that we have. And I have pages and pages of class ideas.
And I have books and books and notebooks all filled with ideas.
And we would like to hear your ideas or your comments or your questions.
Or what would you like to see? What would you like? What do you need help with?
Yes.
The good thing is, if you put comments and you follow us and subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, okay, because this will all be there. We're going to take all those questions
We are.
and we are going to address them.
And we plan to do, hopefully, we will be able to do lives on YouTube at some point. But we're going to put the questions and comments together, and we might have some fun with it as well. Hopefully raise people's endorphins by making them laugh and just enjoying, because it is a little tough out there. And because it's tough out there, maybe we should turn inward. And what better place to get spiritual tools, learn how to use them, and enrich ourselves and make our life more meaningful. So we would like you to leave comments either on the Facebook page, down below here on our YouTube channel. You can give us a call. I'll leave all the links to everything below in the box just above. So Maria, in closing?
In closing, if you haven't noticed, this is my better half. This is the genie in the bottle. She keeps me, I'm all over the place, right? She keeps me on task. Okay, I don't think anybody can reel me in, but she keeps me on task. She tries hard, but
Well, I think we're very like-minded, and sometimes give yourself some credit
Energetically,
here.
yeah.
Enthusiasm
Yeah,
can take you in different directions.
absolutely. I am so passionate that sometimes I get so passionate I get lost. So you do need
You do.
that one person to like go, hey, come back, you're too far out, you went past the buoy, come back.
We're a good balance for
Yes.
each other.
Yes.
And we do plan to co-teach some classes
Oh,
as
absolutely.
well. So we look forward to that. So we just want you to please stay tuned, and hopefully one of these classes or series, workshops, whatever we,
Is just what you're looking for.
yeah. So thank you. Goodbye for now. And please remember, be well, be safe, and be kind to one another. Take care.